Welcome back to Stir. This week we are talking about joy, and it is both appropriate and ironic that I'm talking about this topic, since honestly that's a bit of a struggle for me. To that end, I do want to talk about a common joy killer and what I try to do to deal with it. So when I'm feeling really negative, I try to ask myself if I'm engaging in what could be termed unconscious overclaiming. And what that means in simple terms is that we have a tendency to overestimate or overvalue what we do, and we tend to underestimate or devalue what others do. And I think you can imagine how that becomes quite a problem. This brings to mind Romans 12:18, and I want to read the second half of that verse in the Amplified Version because it really hits me. It says, "Never overestimate yourself or be wise in your own conceits." I think an important takeaway from this understanding is that we really don't see ourselves and others as clearly as we think we do. So this is where I use a tool that can be termed as making the positive argument. So if I am thinking something negative, I can essentially argue with myself and make a positive case for it. And the idea is to come to a more balanced outlook. And if this seems like a bit of a weird exercise to sit around and argue with yourself, I want to remind you of something that Paul said in 2 Corinthians. When we look at chapter 10, verses 4 and 5, and I'll just read it. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ." So to make the positive argument is to refute our overly negative thoughts with those that are true and good and praiseworthy. And I think one of the coolest things about this tool is what can start as negativity or bitterness in our heart when we do this can turn into a love letter. And that can go a long way in developing an attitude of joy in all different kinds of circumstances.